So it's December 23rd. Usually the holiday week trading is usually pretty light, and most of the actions happen within the first hour of the market opens. So coming in today, I was just telling everyone I was trading with that, nail and bail today. No need to stick around and kind of ruin your holidays if you get chopped up with low volume. Just take the meat of the move and move on and enjoy the holidays. And that's kind of what I did today. Gapping up pre-market is PNGX. They had some news about positive phase 3 data on one of their drugs, but the key is the volume was extremely low pre-market. So the stock was gapping up above 620s, the key resistance daily level, but the key is that it couldn't hold this daily level. It kind of failed the 620s, and then that's where I shorted, risking $6 and covering into the wash here. And at the market open, it popped above the pivot I was looking at, but another thing is it didn't hold. And when I saw the weakness, that's why I went in and reshorted and covered into the wash and kind of left it alone. And as you can see, I left a lot of money on the table, but that's okay because, nail and bail. I just kind of want to take my profit and go enjoy my holidays. So next stock is another stock pre-market trading. So BA, Boeing. They had the news of CEO leaving effective immediately. And that news is actually positive for the stock because they had a lot of trouble with their aircraft. They're suspending production. And I guess investors were happy that the current CEO is removed. And hopefully the new leadership will bring the production to better quality. So that's why I longed the news release. Actually, the stock was halted. I longed the unhold. And also the daily chart has a lot of upside to run. You can see the stock has been beaten down since pretty much 390s, and pre-market it was trading around 330s. So there's a lot of upside on this, and that's where I longed and selling into the push and was hoping the stock can break and hold this 340s level on the daily chart, but it couldn't break above it, and that's why I added here, thinking I could go even higher, and I trimmed, actually just cut my losses here around 337. So in the next few days, I expect us to see some more upside on Boeing stock, but I'm all out of the position for now. So the big runner on the day was ITCI, up over 150% at one point, I believe. The stock had news of FDA approval. Now, as you can see, at the pre-market open, I was actually shorting the stock because I was thinking this news might be priced in already, right? And then when the stock is doubled overnight, I thought this would sell off. But, I went short at the market open, seeing that it failed pre-market highs, went short around $26 and covering into the wash. And I had a little piece left short. And this is where I covered and I started flipping long, small size, because I was saying this volume is extremely strong. And you can see the buying volume was still a lot more significant than the selling volume. And that's why I was seeing that, okay, this stock is being propped up. It's not flushing down to even lower pre-market around $20. That's where the level I was looking at. It didn't get there. That means there's a lot of buying interest on the stock, and whoever's propping the stock up, they're propping it up for something else, right? The stock has an outstanding S3 ATM offering registered. So, a lot of times this is what happens with these biotech stocks with positive news and FDA approval. So that's where I entered long here after covering my short, and I added it to even bigger size after that, seeing that this stock is extremely bullish. And this is the area where I was getting a little bit worried, I'm not gonna lie, just because we didn't break through this pre-market high immediately, right? Some of the strongest breakouts we've seen in the past on these biotechs happened almost, instantaneously, breaking above pre-market highs. And we were teetering around this area for a while, and that's why I trimmed my position here. And I added back here after seeing that, okay, finally it's breaking out with really, really strong volume, on average 1 million shares volume. So that's extremely bullish. They want to take the stock higher. And I want to join the trend. I don't want to counter trend trading, especially when this stock is easy to borrow on almost all the brokers out there. So I added to full size, start selling some into all the reps and sold the majority here because there's a key resistance level on the daily chart, $34. And this is where I actually was out all of my long position here. My long position here, I was out all over here. and the stock just took off without me after I sold my long position. And obviously that was extremely frustrating. The stock at one point was actually halted, and you can see I went back smaller size, trying to scalp this for an on-hold setup again, like you've seen me do many times in the past before. And this scalp didn't work out, and this is where I gave back some of my profit from earlier. And this one too, I mean, like, you know, like I shouldn't have went back, should have just left it alone and take my own advice, right? But thankfully this was just a small loss, and I was completely out of it on the backside here. So that's the 3 trades I did on the day today. I'm done trading for the day. I'm going up the mountain to go snowboarding today and tomorrow. I'm really excited, and I'll be back trading on the 26th. So I want to do a small red day recap. Coming back from the holiday break, I took 2 days off, and on 24th is when I see MBOT running. And a lot of times when I'm away and I see a stock like these, like squeezing from $11 all the way to 20, and I missed it all because I was out. That's where I feel kind of FOMO. I'm a little bit too eager to trade on the day I come back. And of course, that's when I made the mistake on RAD today, unfortunately. So, you know, you can see I already made the money on the short pre-market. I should have just left it alone, right? Like, it's a nice 30-cent short. But at the market open, I completely counter-trend traded and ignored the above average breaking volume here. And, you know, I was shorter here. I covered for a big loss here, which gave back all my profit from before. And I really just should have left it alone and kind of waited a little bit more. But no, you know, made even more mistake. Even though I made money on the second trade, that doesn't make it a good trade. I went long here, and I sold here. So I made back, you know, some of the losses from here. So, you know, at this point, it's a small loss after the stock. But still, like, this long trade, it's not a good trade because I'm all flustered. I'm just, you know, fighting FOMO and fighting all the emotions after coming back from 2 days break. And as you can see, I went back and tried to scalp it long again. And that's why I gave back even more profit. So at the end of the day, you know, I made some loss on RAD. It's not a huge loss like I did on ASLN and YAYO, but still, it's not a good trade. And you can see it's counter-trend trading and breaking a lot of my own rules, and I completely missed everything on the grind at near the end of the day on this stock. So, you know, kind of frustrated coming back with a small loser like this one. So the theme of the day is death by 1,000 paper cuts. The next stock is also a loser on the day. Started some small on this one. SPPI, they had some phase 2 trial failure, so it's a bad news, but I was trying to bottom bounce it because it's a setup that I've done a couple times in the past before. And I started in really small pre-market, and I cut it here, you know, leaving this a small paper cut. That's okay. And this is why I went back in after seeing that it's reclaiming $4, and I added some more on this small dip. And, you know, like, I was trying to let it work, trying to let it reclaim $4 and slowly grind up to $4.50 and eventually $5 possibly. But, you know, just kind of didn't work out, so I cut it here. And the stock just slowly faded off all day. So it's a good thing I cut the loss, I guess. But it's another small paper cut on this one. Another loss on the day, NLNK. This one is also a small loss, but, you know, death by 1,000 paper cuts is still, they all add up. Small starter here short, risking $3. I want to see how it reacts to the $3 level at the market open. So I was looking for NLNK to fail $3 at the open, and that's where I'll start adding into bigger size on the short. But when it proved to be too strong, that's where I cut my losses here. So I kept the loss pretty small and manageable, and I was able to avoid the squeeze all the way to 360s. So the next stock is the only winner on the day, unfortunately, CANF. This stock is one I'm really familiar with. I've traded many times in the past. Shorted the pop and covering on the washes. Didn't catch the bottom, but I was all out of the short here. And this is why I see it pop again. That's why I went in short again and covered here before the squeeze from nowhere. So I'm really happy about the execution on this one. Didn't outstay my welcome. So as you can see, I'm pretty frustrated to come back from the Christmas holidays with a loss on the day. But, you know, you make some and you lose some. That's the name of the game with day trading. The only thing you can control is managing your risk and how much you lose, and keeping all your losses planned and controlled. So a nice green day to end the week. As you remember, I ended the day a little bit red yesterday. So today I want to be careful and be patient with my entries. And that's kind of what I did today. I'm really happy with my executions today. So PT is the gapper on the day, and it's the first stock I played pre-market. And they had some news about, a deal agreement with some Chinese company, the usual fluff news. But the reason that made me like PT so much is the fact that, the daily chart was setting up to be, very bullish, right? The daily chart was gapping up into the daily gap. And if it holds this 190 level, which I drew here, then there's a lot of upside to fill the daily gap. And so that's the kind of range that I'm looking for. And second, at least I couldn't find any dilution in the filings for the stock. So short term as a day trade, it's likely to pop higher. And that's why I longed, after a break and hold in the 190 level, longed some and added some more on the momentum push and was selling into all the pushes towards 270s. 270s because of this daily resistance level. And I was out most of it here, and I have a small size left. And at the open, after this extended sell-off, that's where I longed the wash. And I had some more orders down here, but I never got filled. And after I longed on the dip here, that's where I started selling into every single push. My final price target was $3 and possibly $3.30s. That's why my last piece was left. The order was left to sell, but we rejected the pre-market high, so that's where I got stopped out here. At midday, I went back after seeing that there's some volume coming in around this VWAP reclaim area. I longed a small bit, a little bit more, thinking that, we can retest the highs and possibly go back to $3. When it failed to hold, that's why I got out. And the stock is just kind of slowly selling off. But, I'm down for the day on this one, on the long side. The next trade is ITRM. So this one is just a little momentum trade on small size. It's a chat room pump. I think we know what this chat room is, but it was halted around $5, and I was just loading the dips after the unhold, seeing that there's a lot of volume, and it was still holding about $5, and a lot of daily upside to run. So longed, risking $5 and selling into every single push. And of course, as usual, I never get to sell at the top around 640s here. My best sell was $6, but that's enough for me. I don't want to get caught on the dump like this one. So nice little win on the day. The next one is RAD. So this is the one that I took a bigger loss on yesterday, shorted and then longed and then shorted yesterday. But today I was really happy with how patient I was. I had all these, support levels drawn out, and I was waiting to buy the dips on these one. Because, for me, buying the breakout on this is really extended on the daily. As you can see, it gapped up huge $3 overnight. And that's why I didn't want to long the breakout at the open, because I was thinking we can push and then really quickly fail. And that's why I was waiting around the $21 into actually $20 area. But when I was seeing that we're not going to dip that low, that's why I took a starter here around 21.70s and added a lot bigger on this $21 area. And I was just looking for a bounce on this. Selling into all the bounces and sold the most of it here. And then I was seeing that, we can reclaim VWAP again. And that's why I added back. And when we failed, that's why I got stopped out at the entry on the rest of it. So I'm out on the long side on this one, and the stock just looks like it's gonna sell off now, but I'm all done for the day on this. So I'm really happy to end the week green on this short week. I only traded 3 days out of the 5. So I hope everyone had a nice Christmas with friends and family, and thank you guys so much for watching me this past year, and let's have a good 2020 trading year.